all right, fine. I don't push anything on her because she doesn't really like anything. She likes reality, not reality shows, but like real
life.
Like news. She watches the news.
What the fuck? In this
and then we watch Bill
climate, she still watches the news. I mean, we
the nightly news every night.
We used to have.
Welcome to our Film Fathers podcast, the definitive podcast about fatherhood, film, and fatherhood in film. This is Jelani, and with me as always are two guys who just tried to have sex with their hitman, Martin and Brady.
You should move to a small town where the rule of law still exists. You will not survive here. You are not a wolf, and this is the land of wolves now.
Beautiful day. Blue skies, large caliber weapons. I love getting out of the office.
This week, we're a little late to the party, but we decided to dive into border security. Rather than deal with the political aspects and conversations about building a wall, we watched both Sicario and the follow-up Sicario, Day of the Soldado. Between the writing, directing, and acting, we're treated to some top-level performances across the board. Are there more in store?
I don't know. I think there's supposed to be, but it feels like maybe it should have happened by now.
Yeah.
I checked the Wikipedia on the second one, and it said that as of 2023 they were writing it or something. So
Taylor, get your shit.
I don't know if it didn't say anything about Taylor.
If you
Sheridan.
veered, that would be bad to veer off of that.
It has to be him.
I mean, it doesn't have to be. They got rid of Denis after the first one.
They didn't really get rid of him.
No, I know, but he
treated us to two amazing movies.
he
Arrival
did
and
other things,
Blade
yes.
Runner 2049.
Right.
So,
yeah,
I'm okay with it.
he made the right call. Yeah, you don't want to go back to that well.
Can we start with Taylor Sheridan?
Yeah,
Got
of
to.
course.
I think.
Yeah,
I
please.
mean, he's the writer of both of these.
Writer of both of these. I feel like, as I was watching this, and because I really like the first one.
Yeah.
Really like the first one. The second one, I watched this probably the second time I've watched it. And it wasn't as bad as I thought initially. It was better, like I said, better than I thought. I feel like his movies need the right director. Like, his writing has to have the right director to bring it to the screen.
And so this was Sicario is his first movie written.
Yeah.
His first writing credit. So, and for those who don't know, Taylor Sheridan is obviously gone on to an insane amount of success, but was a kind of failed actor turned writer who hit the ground fucking running with Sicario.
Yeah.
Which I will say, I mean, we'll dive into it, but the first one was great.
Yeah. It's so good.
And you're saying he's big now because of Yellowstone.
Yellowstone is what is the thing.
And the sequels, right? Or whatever, the prequels, 1883 and 1923.
He
written most
first
of
was Sicario.
The bulk of the series, dude.
First was Sicario, followed up with Hell or High Water, which we did a while back. Honestly, I think we should do it again.
I love Hell or High Water.
We should do it again because that was part of a combo platter, and
yeah, remember what we did that with?
Yeah. And I honestly Hell or High Water was great, and so
it's one of my favorites. I rewatched it recently. I made Lindsay watch it, and she enjoyed it as well.
Nice.
And
he followed that with Wind River, which I've seen and I enjoyed.
I just watched that recently too, and I really liked it. Yeah. I was surprised.
Then wrote this second Sicario, Day of the Soldado, which. That's a pretty impressive 4 movies.
Yeah, I agree.
And then didn't there's some veers then. I think the hype train for him was off the rails at that point.
Right.
It was kind of out of control. He did Without Remorse,
which was not great.
Not great. We both watched that Michael B. Jordan.
Right.
He did that.
Show.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah.
And,
it's a movie.
Or movie, that's right.
But it was
Prime.
it was also
straight to Prime or something.
Straight to Prime, and it was the same director as Day of the Soldado.
Oh, okay.
So that's where I was kind of like, okay, maybe this director just doesn't get what he's trying to do.
But yeah, then he went into the Yellowstone world.
But that same year he did Those Who Wish Me Dead, which we reviewed as well.
And we just thought was okay.
It was just okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So it wasn't bad.
I was skipping it, but he went into Yellowstone, which I still haven't seen, but I know is just is a phenomenon. And then from there, 1883, 1923,
Yeah, Kevin Kent, big
Tulsa
fan of
King.
Yellowstone.
Tulsa King, Mayor of Kingstown.
Have you seen either of those?
No, I've seen Yellowstone TikToks, so I feel like I think I got enough.
I've
had no interest.
I've started to see clips for Tulsa King, and I'm kind
Is that
of
Stallone?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm kind of interested.
Mayor of Kingstown's Renner. Right?
Renner.
I would probably be more interested in Mayor of Kingstown, which, okay, Yellowstone and 1883 are the highest rated he did
Right.
On IMDb. But Mayor of Kingstown's second.
Mayor of Kingstown only 42% on Rotten
I think
Tomatoes.
Jen
though.
might have watched
Ooh.
that one. I think she started it.
Is it? It's a show.
It's
Yeah, it's a
8.2
show.
on IMDb,
Yeah, it is. That's weird.
which is higher than Hell or High Water, Sicario, Wind River.
But yeah, I mean, I feel like he needs
Do you
the
think
right
the director?
I think the director, because although the director for Hell or High Water was not somebody that I had ever heard of, and he doesn't have a ton of like big name credits, but we know Denis is pretty good and
Pretty good.
He's great.
Yeah.
So-
right.
Phenomenal.
So like, so this was the other thing I was thinking about. We know your love for Nolan Martin, Christopher Nolan,
Christopher Nolan. Yeah.
and then
And my boy.
I was
Nolan.
like,
and Nolan. But where would you put Denis on the list of like directors?
He's Nolan. He's that level.
don't make me rank him.
Yeah, I'm not going to rank him.
I'm not going to rank him, but
I'm not
is he
gonna rank
up
him.
there with them?
But he's up there, yeah. I mean, they're right now. I mean, you look at Oppenheimer and Dune 2, and we're just in a glut of amazing filmmakers.
I haven't seen Dune
at
2
the-
yet, but I mean, you guys know how much I loved the first installment, and I think it's one of those where I'd be pretty hard pressed to be like, oh, a new Denis movie is coming out, and I'd be like, nah, probably not. Like, I feel like he's earned it.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah, he's got a unique voice. They both do sci-fi, in a way, but in their own unique way, in a really great way. And yeah, I don't know. He's right up there with my favorite directors.
I think he's just
All time.
he's another one that kind of gets the green light whenever you like his name is attached. You're like, all right, I'll give it a shot. Because
Yeah, I mean, from a director standpoint, I mean, it's pretty fucking amazing.
Yeah, it was Arrival that did it for me first, where I was blown away, and then that's what put him on the map for
I was
me.
trying to see if he did a music video because
Like I kind of
don't
forgot
think
that
he
he
did.
did
he
Sicario.
did Prisoners before
because I didn't
that,
know
too.
him. Yeah, and exactly. Yeah, we talked about Prisoners.
Prisoner's Enemy.
Enemy.
Was
I've seen
was
Enemy.
that the
It's Jake Gyllenhaal.
Gyllenhaal? That was the one we almost did, but we didn't.
It's a strange one.
Yeah, that was the same year as
early.
Prisoners.
Yeah, yeah. It feels earlier. It feels more of like an
maybe
indie
released in 2013, but Sicario, Arrival, Blade Runner 2049, Dune 2.
Yeah, it's a very strong run.
That's a
movie. Very strong.
Just
very strong resume.
insane run.
Yeah. So I think just going into Sicario 1, like,
Don't call it one. Come on.
okay, going into Sicario, the score
Score was
God.
great. I looked it up
Awesome.
too because I.
It's Mary was partially she watched the first one
yeah.
and she's like the music is just like so intense, and I was like, yeah, it's awesome. Like
Johan Johansson.
Johan Johansson, R.I.P.
Oh yeah, he passed away.
He died in 2018. They like dedicated them.
Okay, I didn't see that at the
to
end.
him.
No.
It's so good.
So good.
Like it's just so. It almost seems so simple, and obviously it's not, right? Like there's a lot more to all this, but the note I saw was that Denis said he wanted the score to be like the sound of a threat, and
It builds tension.
and the
So much
film
tension.
he used as a comparison was Jaws.
Okay.
And that was kind of the inspiration or whatever you want to call it. But it really works. Like it just nonstop. It's just like that pulse is
Right.
just really looming.
Yeah, I feel like we talk about this a lot, and you bring up Christopher Nolan, you bring up other great directors, but this really does. This movie fires on all cylinders, right? When you got the score working, the script working, the direction working, and all the actors. I mean, some of the best, some of my favorite actors. Maybe I think they're the best. It's easy to say that they're best two, but yeah, Benicio del Toro, Emily Blunt, and I love Brolin. I don't know does everyone love Brolin or as much as I do? Or,
I like Brolin.
I just think he's so. When he's on screen, I love him. I think he's great.
There's another Brolin movie I want to do.
Goonies.
Done.
The throwback. What you know him for? No, it's called Only the Brave. I think I brought this up before. It's Only the Brave. It's it's about like essentially like talking about Sheridan's firefighter movie. It's a group of like he's like the head of a I don't even know what last one, but they fight wildfires. Yeah. It's got our boy Taylor Kitsch,
Miles Teller, Jeff Bridges, Jennifer Connelly, and Taylor Kitsch.
Yeah, it's good.
91 on Rotten Tomatoes.
Mary and I really liked it, and like I didn't even know if it was rated high. Like we really enjoyed it, and he's a part of that, right? Like, and I just like what he's in.
Yeah,
he makes good choices, right? And then he attaches on to Denis, and he's in the Dune movies as well. And he's Thanos, killed half the population.
He's got the Deadpool franchise. He's got the
Marvel franchise.
The Marvel
the MCU
universe.
And then the last piece, cinematography.
Gosh, I don't typically notice the cinematography, but I will tell you there were the parts when they were like going out at dusk or early in the morning, and it just looked amazing. Like, it looked so good. The one scene that stands out in my head is when they're going to the tunnel, and you see them all walking, and it's like the low setting sun, and you see them all like kind of just like disappear as they're going down,
descend,
and then they just disappear. But then you still have like the reds and the blues like lingering in the background, but it's about to be like pitch black. It looked so good.
Well, with all that, I will say, Denis really loves himself some dust particles.
That's is that him or is that Roger Deakins?
Catching dust in the light. I was like, there were like 3, I think, definitive shots, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, but the film strip, I think in the beginning too, they showed it was all. But yeah, Roger Deakins, cinematographer, had attached himself on to some good directors. He works with Denis and then the Coen brothers kind of early on as well. So it's one of those things where you find a good one. I think you just stick with them.
I think 100%. I think a lot of times the director's probably driving the train on those. I feel like we talked about that when Nolan, with a couple of Nolan movies, it was like they are pretty lockstep with the guys they trust and know that can help create the vision.
Yeah. Let's talk about the Sicario. Lo Sicario, or El Sicario. Where do you... So with Benicio, I feel like he kind of just popped, for me, as obviously Usual Suspects.
How badass is Benicio?
Suspects. He's so good.
But he works so good. And I feel like he hit like his stride when he got older. Like, I don't remember...
Was he ever young?
That's what I'm saying. Like,
if you go back in Usual Suspects, you'll be shocked at how
very
young
he
is. He's very youngish.
And he's got that weird accent thing that he's doing in there. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
But he's great. He's got a presence.
Yes. And I feel like that presence is somehow just as powerful, if not more so, in Sicario.
Yeah. And that's why I'm glad, that him and Brolin were in the second one. I feel like I wouldn't have watched it without at least those guys.
Yeah, no.
Like if they just tried to make some kind of cash grab sequel.
Well, Mary was like, wait, why is Emily Blunt not in it? And I'm like, I don't know. And she's like, well, this is the type of stuff you got to talk about on your podcast. And I was like, I'll be honest, it kind of felt like her story was told in the first one.
Right.
And I feel that way too, but these guys maybe not.
And I looked it up, though. She was willing to be in it, and they were pretty much like,
there's no reason.
They didn't have the
they
plot
didn't want they didn't want
it.
a moral compass for the second one, which she very much was.
Yeah.
And I think Taylor Sheridan said he kind of he had nowhere to go with her after that.
Yeah.
Like, so you're at that point you're forcing it in which case everyone, I think that you start
let the story lead you.
Yeah. You start to feel that, right? As you're watching it, you're just like, what? This movie's now
Hey, tell Mary you had a good
inauthentic. She'll never listen.
But I feel like he hit his stride when he got a little older, and like just like Brad Pitt does. Like now you're just like, oh yeah, we know we're gonna get some good work.
Are you saying that they're both handsome gentlemen?
They are. I'm not gonna lie, they are handsome gentlemen. No, you're not feeling.
I don't know if I'm putting Benicio in the handsome category, but he's a rugged.
Yeah, no. There's a certain amount of good looks there, but it's in a strange way, in his own way. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I know what you're saying. He does look better now than he did when he was younger. For
He
sure.
is. He's the guy. He's the right guy for the role. That's for sure.
Yeah,
And I think we could kind of talk about these movies together. But like he obviously is just full on badass in the first one, and not that he's not in the second one, but I think there's a lot more humanity obviously to him in the second one when you're getting into a little bit more of they touched on his backstory in the first movie, and then they touched on it a lot more in the second one, explaining how he knows sign language, and obviously that adds a whole nother element, and why he's obviously overprotective of Isabel Karina
and Emily Blunt in the first one
for
too.
sure, and they hint at some of that, and I feel like movies don't do this enough. We don't always need a huge explanation of the backstory. Just hint at it a little bit.
Yep.
I was not left being like, oh, I wish I knew more. I was just like, cool, nailed it.
Yeah,
That's good.
Yeah. The dinner scene.
yeah.
When
And then
At the end, wait, which did?
in the first movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the Sicario one. But just talk about a tense scene. And I'd seen the movie. This is my third time watching it now, so you know where it goes. But
Thankfully, they took that off camera.
yeah. But that's it was a good choice, the right choice. Keeping it on the dad.
Kids involved,
right? But it doesn't
Also,
take away the power
so
of
fast.
it. He was so fast. He's good with that gun. For sure. But just a great, great brutal scene. If you could,
Well, and I recognized it too, but like you see him, take out a guard. He gets told there's 6 in the house, and he's like takes out the guard, sees like the housekeeper, and then sees all 4 sitting at the table. So it's like, okay, there's literally no one else to worry about, right? It's just like, all right, here's this. I've seen all 6.
Yeah,
doesn't kill the housekeeper, but fucking sure ends everybody else.
I felt like this movie hit like all of my wheelhouses because it's like that special ops thriller.
Yeah.
With the old man action thrown in at the very end.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, no, this is it. This is the movie. This
You
is
love
the movie
watching
made
torture?
for me. No, I just love the whole, I've been wronged. Now I'm going to end everybody that was involved in that wronging.
Well, and I think they did a good job in the first one of really like, I don't know about you, even knowing what it was on the rewatch, they keep him enough of a mystery for a good portion of that movie that I don't think there's really any inkling to believe that he is this assassin until he is.
Yeah.
Like, but for the most of the movie, he's just this guy who is, I think you're kind of riding along in Emily Blunt's mind, like, who the hell is this guy? But you're not given much to work off of, so there's no reason to take the leap and assume, he's the worst. But he eventually, like you said, he kind of shows off a little bit of the old man action vibe, and more so maybe the second one because he is older, a couple years older, and I don't.
And it has your boy Bernthal in it.
It's got both my boys, Bernthal and Burn Notice.
Yeah,
Right, what's his name again?
Jeffrey Donovan.
Jeffrey Donovan.
He got the callback.
He
on
got
the second
callback.
one.
He was
Like,
in number 2.
We could use you
I
for
was
another
surprised
6
to see
minutes.
that. Very much underutilized. I feel.
I
in
would
the
think
second,
so.
Right? Like,
I would say maybe utilize them both. To be honest,
but that's what I was like. If you're in the first one, and I feel like he had more dialogue. And if you're going to bring him back, I feel like they can make him a bigger role. But no,
he's just
almost
like,
smaller.
I'm down for whatever you need.
Yeah, I just wanted to be in it.
I will say they said that the first one, Benicio had a lot more dialogue in the script. Like the initial script was, I don't think they didn't. They estimated they cut 90% of his dialogue.
Because then when they got him on camera, he just acted with his eyes.
Yeah, well, I think
his demeanor.
That was part of it. They said he explained his background a couple times to Emily Blunt's character, and they just felt like it didn't make a lot of sense that he would just like offer it up right
just
away.
Start
And kind of what I
monologuing.
was saying, like Les was actually.
Let me tell you why I'm doing all this.
And how many movies do that, right? Like
Right.
explain away. You don't need it. Like the mystery sometimes works just as good.
Yeah.
And they end up cutting it.
Almost always better. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right.
With my boy Bernthal. Is that the most painful wet willy you've ever seen?
Does that hurt when you stick your finger in
It
someone's
feels
ear
like
that?
that should have been the most comfortable thing that he had happened to.
He's like, take it out.
He really shoved his finger through
Yeah.
through his head.
Yeah.
For listeners, yes, he licks his finger and then sticks it in his ear, seemingly as far as it could
Apparently
go. But I don't
the-
think I kind of tried. Did you guys try? I was like, how far can I get my finger in my ear? Didn't seem very far.
I did not.
Not enough to cause like the pain that he portrays.
That's my point. But yes,
Yeah.
seems like he knows what he's doing when it comes to torture. So
I didn't love the heel turn for Bernthal because I'm a big fan of his, but he did
I mean,
fit
you
that
know
role well.
him.
I know he fit that role well.
The fact that you got him not on a heel is like he's a heel.
we've talked about him so many times. Have you seen? Do you watch The Walking Dead, or have you seen?
That's where I found him.
Yeah,
No.
that's where I first saw him.
I've
Yeah.
never seen The Walking Dead.
I was a year or two behind that because I think I was rented it because maybe Netflix even people were like talking about it. It was like, oh, it's this like
Yeah,
6 or 7 episode show that like came out and it was like it's actually really good and it
Yeah,
was
it's
like
Frank Darabont who did Shawshank Redemption. So
I was like, okay, so I was way behind, but I watched it and then so then everything after that I was like, oh, this is that guy. This is that guy from Walking Dead, Shane.
yeah, I think that's right.
And that's how I knew him.
You're not a big zombie fan, but it's more than just a zombie show. The first couple of seasons really good.
Yeah.
There is a lot of layers.
The
to it
Bernthal
at that
seasons
point.
are good.
Yeah, the Bernthal seasons are good. A couple after that, they that show went on since it's on still. Went on way
and
too
it
long.
has like 2 or 3 spin-offs.
Yeah.
And they had like a Talking Dead show where they talked
I even
about
watched
it.
one of the
It was
spin-offs
a
for a
phenomenon.
little while, and then I was like, I got it. I
gotta
need
stop.
this out of my life. It was like I couldn't. I was. They got me. I was a zombie.
Yeah, it became a little much, but anyway, yes. I mean, even down to the side characters or side actors were all really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Daniel Kaluuya.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Was it
I
early
did
for
not
him, too?
remember him being in this.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember, but I think it was before I really knew who he was when I first saw it.
Did they have to name him Reggie Wayne?
Was his real name Reggie Wayne?
Yeah.
I knew it was Reg, but
It just doesn't make sense why you would name him Reggie Wayne. Like of all the names you could pick, you picked
Hey.
Reggie Wayne.
maybe he's a Colts fan.
Reggie. There are. What do you? Is it safe to say
that's
there are?
supposed to mean something?
There's
to me?
it's a Colts, Indianapolis Colts wide receiver who was very well known to most people, not Martin. But like, you could name his last name almost anything, and you pick one of the more like. Don't go Jackson, don't go Wayne, and don't go Miller. And I think you've covered all sports that you need to be concerned with of like really known Reggies. That's it.
Yeah. Reggie Bullock. We're going to have to throw that one out there. You could have gone Reggie Bullock. Nobody would have known that
I mean,
one.
I just don't. It just felt like a weird. I think it almost had to be intentional.
I think it
What about
probably
Reggie
was.
Bush?
There you go. It's in the news today.
Got his Heisman
Got
back.
his Heisman back. I don't know. I was just like, you're shitting me. It does look like this was 2 years before Get Out, which
I was
put
gonna
him
say,
on
was
like
that
essentially
before?
the map.
Yeah.
Kick-Ass 2 he was in.
Did anyone see that? I saw
I
Kick-Ass
watched
1.
it. I remember Kick-Ass 2 because Jim Carrey came out and said I wasn't going to do any press for it because it was so violent.
I didn't know at the time, but I definitely saw him in Black Mirror because I watched those when they happened, and that was
Right.
years
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
before.
of course.
But he was in one episode, and
Yeah.
no one knew who he was at that time, so he was
Right.
just a guy,
Yep.
a British actor. And then when he blew up, it was like, oh shit, he was in the Black Mirror. Oh, he was in that Black Mirror episode.
Yeah, with like all the credits or whatever.
Yeah, where you like beat yourself up. It's basically like the influencer type
Yeah.
YouTubes.
Yeah.
so
Getting up on
so
the YouTube.
you were exposed to him for
Yeah,
sure,
that's right.
Yeah.
but took him a minute.
So in the second one, did you guys like the multiple storylines, or did you? I felt like I could have done with them going and taking the daughter, But I didn't necessarily need the secondary storyline of the kid becoming the gangster. I don't know if that necessarily did anything for it.
I thought it was only necessary because he recognized him.
Yeah, but like
didn't have to show him that often.
It was inevitable. At the moment, you're like, oh, they're gonna that kid's there.
Right.
He's gonna recognize him.
Knew it.
You knew it was gonna happen, which in itself is a problem.
right.
Not a problem, but like you just like it feels like the movie's less than after watching the first one.
Correct.
That being said,
It wasn't terrible though.
he fucking spotted him from like 300
really
yards away
in the dark
with a light behind him, which was causing blinding
with a cowboy hat
silhouette in costume.
Then again, it's Benicio. He's kind of recognizable face.
It stopped him in his tracks. He looked at the window and was like, "What?"
The guy I saw in the car,
a random
One
dude I
time?
saw in a car. Yeah, not like that guy. Kind of looks like a dude I saw once. Not like it was like him. I was just like, come on. That wasn't my only technicality either, by the way.
but you're saying basically by what do you think of the ending, like the actual last scene?
But here's the thing, like, and the fact that they're building up, the antagonist. He's part of that. So, like, I get what you're saying, but if you took that away, like, what's the obstacle?
I figured they could have found some other way for like somebody to come after him. I don't know. I didn't have a huge problem with him. I had a huge problem with Matthew Modine and Catherine Keener. I did not want them there.
I agree wholeheartedly. Keener sucked. And Modine.
And we like Keener.
I do like Keener. I didn't like her. And not even I didn't like her in this role. I agree with you. Kind of unnecessary. And Modine fell right into his like Stranger Things vibe. Like
Totally.
he's just like
This bureaucrat.
but also like very unlikable. It. You can sense it from the beginning.
I think they did it right in the first one remember when Emily Blunt goes to talk to Victor Garber and he's like, if you're worried about working outside of the lines of the law, don't worry about it. Like these decisions have been made miles and miles away from here by people you're fine. Like they
took you to
they
miles
took you
and
to
miles,
miles, right? And I was
agree.
like, you could have just left that in the
I
in the
will
background.
say though,
I agree.
I
never thought about it that way, but yeah, that's right.
I did have a little hiccup with that. I felt like if you're looking to bring on someone from the FBI with the underlying reasoning being that they're like essentially going to allow you to circumvent the rules that are in place to like where CIA can work.
Yeah.
And all of that, why would you look for someone like essentially like at the top of the class? Aren't you trying to like why would you Why would you burn Emily Blunt when she's like 5 for 5 on like she's essentially an all-star. Like you're gonna essentially like wash her out because to make this work. Like it would seem like it would make more sense to
get a
go
lower level
bottom fishing.
Yeah, you go like The Departed, where you get Leo and you make him.
And like worst case, that person just is like, yeah, I'm cool with whatever, as opposed to someone who has that moral compass, who is more likely to resist and thus cause problems.
Right.
And I get it. Right. It's just a movie, but I'm just that was something I was thinking about in the moment. I'm like,
Well, wasn't it that they had to volunteer? Like they couldn't.
right. But you don't think a person at the bottom isn't going to jump at the chance? Even more so.
To work with an interagency operation? Yeah, probably.
And now it has many issues with it. My question was also like, I'm glad that it was written by Taylor Sheridan because I would have more questions if it was somebody else. I'd be like, oh, that's why they did that. Like they fucked it up, and that's not what Taylor would do. But I just wonder if Brolin, like, why he decided to change the plan and why he decided to bring the girl back. Is it because he was kind of
Pissed
affected?
off.
Yeah, pissed off that they killed.
They burned his asset.
I thought he did.
Right. You thought he did? Like, is that the only reason? Is that because they don't say anything? He just kind of looks.
Yeah, he said you're fucking us all.
Yeah, I think it was because he had spent all this time cultivating an asset.
I'd say it's a weakness.
Yeah.
In the story.
So you're agreeing with me. That's what I'm.
If that's what you're saying.
Yeah, I think I'm saying that's a.
You think
that's a
he
weak
should have
point.
just killed her?
I don't know. I just don't know that that character who's been who didn't care and said, I'm not going to help you. And
in
all
4 hours of movie,
and then all of a sudden he's like, oh, I'm going to kill this guy, but now he's dead by not me, and I'm going to change my mind.
Like Benicio, you know why. You have that.
Yes.
Yeah. You understand that.
Correct.
Brolin is... It doesn't really make sense.
Although he did just say, I will just put her in witness protection, and maybe just it's a flash decision, but it just doesn't seem like he's that wasn't his character. He's the guy in flip flops in the beginning, right? He's
Crocs in the second one.
Yeah, the Crocs made me mad. I wear flip flops every day at work. I respect a guy who.
You're the open toe. Nothing like walking into a room and getting the aura of feet.
You're not getting an odor of feet. I'll tell you that. You might get an aura, but you're not getting an odor. But yeah, I agree with you on
Brady
that.
and I agree. I like it. It doesn't always happen.
No, but when it does, it's fucking.
It wasn't. I didn't hate it, but it felt a little.
And I'll
bit
say
off.
I didn't hate the second movie. I thought it was actually good. Not nearly as good.
Right.
So it was definitely a less than comparatively, but I did not. There was a lot I did like. I thought there was a lot of heart. When he encounters the deaf farmer.
Yeah.
And they have like kind of their interactions. I felt like that was a really nice addition to the movie, and I liked that Benicio was the one involved. Like it did. There was so much humanity to him, and you felt like you were recognized. They did a good job with the girl, recognizing some of it. Also, she's still trying to piece together like who he is, but also recognizing that she wasn't. I don't think she wasn't scared of him. She was more. I think she respected him, and also like. I don't know what the right term is, but they
didn't go full Creasy Bear, like where they were both like, they didn't build up the relationship too much, which I don't know if it was a miss or not, like they could have, but I don't know. I didn't really feel that big a connection to the girl as much as maybe Benicio did. You understand why he did, but they didn't like build up that she was like this tough chick that got these guys to care about her. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like maybe it would have been too cliche if they did.
Did you know the girl from anything?
I didn't recognize her.
I know.
Of course you do.
I do her too.
Burn Notice.
I was
CSI.
like, I think I had to look it up, but it confirmed my suspicion. So Jelani, you think you know?
Yeah, so I know she is the new Dora in Dora the Explorer.
That I
movie
did not know.
Also with Benicio del Toro, who plays Swiper.
Wait, there's a live action movie?
There's a live action Dora the Explorer movie.
Holy shit.
I did not know that.
I think it's a little late for that. My kids don't even know what Dora is.
My kids were upset because Dora, they've done some updates to Dora and it doesn't look like the old like animated one. They changed it up.
I would think not, based off if this girl's the one playing her.
But other than that, no.
Okay, so I knew her from a movie called Instant Family. Wahlberg and Rose Byrne.
Yeah,
and she's the older daughter who is like problematic. I watched that, kind of enjoyed it actually, and I was like, I feel like maybe, and it was, and weirdly it's like the same year, but I would say that she looks much older in the Instant Family movie. So, like much older. So weird, but
the
82% on Rotten Tomatoes, not too shabby.
Yeah.
For a Wahlberg comedy.
Yeah, it's got some another one. It's got some heart, guys. I'm all about heart.
You really are,
Martin. I'm going to try to crack that
tough outer shell.
A thin candy shell.
Surprised you didn't know that.
Only us.
The other guy that I recognized, just ancillary character, was the cousin, the bus driver.
The bus driver.
I don't remember the bus driver.
He wasn't the bus driver, but no.
David Castaneda?
Yes. Did you guys watch Umbrella Academy?
No.
I did watch the first season.
He's one of the kids in the Umbrella Academy.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Shea Wiggum, but
I was going to throw out Shea Wiggum in there.
Yeah, man, you can throw Shea in anything
with his Russians on the payroll.
Shay's in my movie.
He was just in that one scene.
It was
right?
so short. I was like, is he coming
I was expecting
back?
more. Yeah.
No, he
feels like
there to get him some stuff.
Does he walk a lot in Hollywood? And they're like, Shay, real quick.
We could use you for a second.
And he's like, just scan this. And he's got like a
a punch card.
No, like a he can just memorize everything.
Yeah,
photographic memory.
There you go. Thank you. He just walks in, gets the lines, boom, delivers, out. And then I knew Manuel Garcia Rolfo, who was Gallo, the boss.
The local boss.
Yeah. What'd you call him?
The local boss.
They call
Yeah,
him,
what is
I
he
call him
from?
Loco.
Was he in
The local boss.
He was in some of those action movies that we.
He was in the Magnificent Seven.
Okay,
The new
yeah, that's
recall?
right. That's definitely what I know him from.
Murder on the
Six
Orient
Underground is what I'm
Express?
thinking about.
Murder on the Orient Express. Remember how good those were?
He was in that one. Yeah, I don't
Book?
remember that at all.
He was in Widows.
Yeah, he was. Okay,
You asked. I'm
I
trying to
believe
give
you.
it to you.
I believe you.
Daniel Kaluuya
You're right.
was in
Yeah, he
Widows
is in
too.
there. But I'm thinking Six Underground was the crappy action movie. That
Yeah,
I was
you know,
thinking
I
about
feel like I want to
with him.
rewatch that.
I do too.
Do I
wasn't
not?
bad.
I don't think it's as bad as
The 6.1 rating.
Yeah, it wasn't
it's not
terrible.
great,
Oh,
but
36% Rotten Tomatoes, but it did what it had to do.
Yeah, that's
it's,
the thing.
It's
and
a
this is-
Michael Bay film, guys. Like,
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot that part. Is there drones?
I'm assuming yes.
This was pre-drones. I
This
think.
is the thing. I feel like we get the Netflix like action model,
Yeah.
and we're okay with it.
yeah.
And like the
has its
36%, well, or
That's
the
60.
67% don't. Wait.
I don't get this actually. Now
Now
it
I don't
says
understand
36 on one thing on Rotten Tomatoes, and then the other one it says 60%.
Well, that's
So let's see.
starkly
It's
different.
Quite a difference. Let's see when I click
either. Ned's
through.
starkly different.
What?
Wow, you really
No,
got it with that.
doodly doodly. Okay, that's because one's going audience score. Audience score 60%.
Well, no, I
Tomato
care
meter,
about
36.
audience score. I don't care about the goddamn critics of the bullshit people trying to
It's nice see
appease.
both, but 60 sounds
Old
closer,
Hollywood.
more right to me.
It wasn't trying to win an Oscar.
No, yeah,
That's the thing.
It's
like,
trying to
it's
stay
Ryan
out of the
Reynolds.
Razzies. That's all.
and Ruffo.
well, that's the thing. You got entertaining people, and they're like, I don't need it to be perfect. Like, just
Have some fun.
I liked The Gray Man.
Yeah.
That's
And-
okay.
I liked that movie with Reynolds.
Fall
and the-
Guy's going to be great.
Fall Guy is going to be great. Reynolds and The Rock and Gal Gadot.
Red Notice?
Red Notice. Mary and I really liked it, and then it wasn't well received.
No.
I think everyone else is wrong.
I think there's time and a place.
Look, they're not all winners, right?
They're not
like,
all
I'm not going to watch.
A24
I'm not
Oscar
going to watch
winners.
the Jamie Foxx one again from the New Orleans.
Project Power?
Yeah,
Project Power. I'm a snapping shrimp.
that one. I'm not going to watch all of them again, but some of them I think are pretty good.
You got to watch for the Lookout tie-in. The callback.
Oh, that was that movie. Everyone's still waiting for that callback.
But yeah, I mean, not every movie could be Sicario for sure when it comes to crime films. But it's pretty.
Oh, that dude's
Pretty
also
impressive.
the new Lincoln Lawyer on Netflix.
Got it.
The show.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I did not watch it.
I've seen the movie. I feel like
The movie was McConaughey.
right.
Right.
The show is actually 2 seasons now, and he is Mickey Haller.
The
Is that the
titular
guy?
Lincoln Lawyer.
Is that like based on a book or something?
It is written by the same guy who did Bosch.
I was going to
Which
say
was
it's
Louis
Bosch.
L'Amour?
And Mickey Haller and Bosch are cousins, or like half brothers. There's a connection in there.
Oh,
Guys,
wow.
it's deep.
Gotta watch Bosch and Lincoln Lawyer.
Oh, Bosch.
I'm so behind.
Titus Welliver?
There you
That's
go.
Bosch?
Welliver.
Yeah.
That's the actor,
Yeah.
the
Where do you remember?
Mr. Black from Lost or whatever.
There you go.
Not that's not his name, but he was like the smoke
The man in
monster.
black. The smoke
The man
monster.
in black. There you go, or something like that.
Not a bad credit
Right.
to his name, My last technicality on the second one. Okay, when Benicio gets shot
In the face.
in the face,
Through and through.
clearly through and through.
Right.
Clearly the jaw was not clenched; just went right through the cheeks. Brolin and the chopper crew are 2 minutes out.
Yeah, and then it's all of a sudden daytime.
It got light real quick, and they flew, I think, on screen for like 6 minutes.
I agree.
We got flaws. I just don't.
I don't know. I mean,
You're cool with it? You're
yeah,
about to gloss
I thought-
over this shit?
I thought about it the same way you did, but I was just like, I don't know. Sun comes up fast, and they're flying in a chopper, and happens quickly. It was like closer to dawn than I thought. I don't know. I don't know what to make of it.
there is no reason.
There's no reason to have to make
set
it 2
the
minutes.
expectation.
Sure.
Just say we're never going to make it. We're 40 minutes out. Like,
Right.
why say 2 minutes?
Right, and then all of a sudden change the day. You're right.
And be like,
But I let it go.
To build on that scene,
Imperfect.
how did he walk and catch where they were at?
he caught the right angle. It's all about angles.
That too, I had a problem with that. I'm like,
he got
how long did
shot,
he walk
right.
for without water? And they were driving for like a while.
Well, they took the long way.
And he just happened to walk up to
Again,
him
these
and
are
catch
all
him?
things that if Taylor Sheridan hadn't written it, I would have been like, Taylor would have done it
You
better.
don't really give him that much credit.
Yeah,
huh?
well, because it's his story. No one knows the right way to do it except for him. But it could be the failed direction. Like they would have thought about this stuff more than it's what's written on the page.
I just don't know how hard it is to just make like all of it. Like you want it to be daylight, cool. Make it daylight when it gets shot. Like all of this stuff is solvable. Like why are you making it very obvious to people? Why are you making people not care?
And who
That's all. That's
doesn't
what's
do
really
a
good.
double tap to the head? Like everyone knows.
He's a first timer.
First timer, rookie.
No, that
It's a rookie
everyone doesn't
move.
know. He got a
The
shot
other guy
off.
could have told him, been like, that looks like it went through his cheek. I would do another one, make sure it goes
Blood
through
was
his
coming
brain.
out immediately.
The first guy
I
that
don't know.
went up got one shot to the head when
Yeah.
he didn't shoot him.
Yeah.
So that was like, oh, well, this
That
is
was
the precedent.
Why did he kill that guy anyway?
Because
failed.
he didn't do the job.
I guess.
This is a
Still not-
fucking.
Do you
He's
not
not
know
worth
gang
it.
life? Are you not in? You do what you are told or you die. That's how it works,
Didn't
Martin.
he-
Have you not heard about the cartel? They're not a friendly bunch.
There's no negotiations, Martin.
not-
You can't say, well, maybe.
It's
Well,
not like
the
a-
guy didn't just kill him then.
That'll like a better luck next time.
It's not like, oh, I can't shoot him, so I'm going to get.
Well, he
I'm gonna
probably
die.
didn't think
probably
he was
didn't know.
gonna die.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. He didn't know cartel life either.
Fucking sucker.
He was a sucker. I thought he was going to give him another chance. He was just a kid. It's not like he's worthless.
Emphasis on was.
Oh man.
I don't know. It was our boy stepped up. By the way, I was a little mildly confused when I saw him significantly more tatted up walking through the mall, and I was like,
How much time's gone?
"Yeah,
by?
exactly. Like, is this a?"
I
Did you
thought I
guys not
missed
see
it.
the caption? It said 1 year later.
Oh, did it say that?
I disagree vehemently.
No, I
No.
believe you.
I
You
don't.
go back and watch it.
Well, I believe that you saw it. I believe that what I watched did not show that.
Okay. It clearly said 1 year later.
Oh.
I was like, "Damn, a lot of tats. Did this guy just like get inked up on the way home? Like, could he go to Kukos?"
So as he ends and you see the kid sitting in the office and Alejandro's there, is Alejandro going to take him under his wing and turn
Oh,
him
yeah.
into Sicario? Like
He earned his respect by shooting
by
him in
shooting him
the
in
face.
the
But did he
face?
even know that he shot him in the face?
Oh, that's true.
You know? He had the- what's it called?
Yeah, I
on?
think because he's a trained Sicario, he after getting shot in the said face, he
did.
was able to work out some details.
And do you think Brolin knows he's alive?
I think that's why he kept the girl. That if they just killed the girl, then he would be hunted. But now he could say he kept her alive because of
Okay.
in his favor.
Sure. A lot of loose ends. That's why we need a third one.
I don't know. I think
That's why we need capos.
I just hopefully
Sicario,
hopefully
capos.
they kill
Working title.
Catherine Keener's character.
I think this third one is probably going to suck.
Sicario 3 is starts with Keener and Modine dead.
In the wall.
Dude, can we talk a little bit before we end that first scene in the first Sicario? Well, there's two like amazing scenes in my opinion. The first scene, which is like literally like that's part of the like wow factor. You have the score, which we talked already about, but like you have this amazing scene of them breaking into this house, getting into a shootout, finding a fucking array of bodies in this house, which is just awesome.
Would they say 27 in the walls?
In the
10
hall.
27 in the hall, 10 in the bedroom, and they hadn't checked the attic yet?
Yeah. Or whatever, or whatever was under the tunnel that was detonated.
Yeah.
So you have that scene. You have the border crossing scene shootout.
Oh,
It's just like there's some just really intense, like long drawn out scenes that are so good, and I'm pretty sure that. But my hunch would be like it was overall, but like those are really why Taylor Sheridan was revered the way he was, because I mean those are so good.
I would
So
say
good.
the other one that adds to that is when Emily Blunt goes down the hall after Alejandro, and she sees him like wrestling with Silvio, and then he's like, "Turn around! You weren't supposed to be here." And then he just shoots her.
When he shoots her and says,
Don't ever
point your weapon at me." Great line.
That's fucking boss.
No
doubt.
No hesitation.
Knows he's hitting the plate.
Yeah.
Oh God, so good. We don't want to miss. There are some. The first Sicario is so damn good. Legit feels like it should almost be like. Probably should watch this like once a year.
Yeah, I would agree.
Do you guys like it better than Hell or High Water?
You've seen them more recently.
On a rewatch. Like, what's more rewatchable?
I'd like to
I'd have
probably
to go
Sicario if I had to guess, because I think of those intense scenes. Although I'd like to go back.
I think I prefer Hell or High Water.
I'd like to go back and see that because I loved Hell or High Water.
You want to say that one again?
Hell or High Water.
What?
I think it's got a higher rewatchability factor.
Okay, that's good.
But,
so
and this one's very high.
I think we should rewatch that on its own and or with something else and kind of dive back into that, because I do think that movie is great, and I think we probably glossed over it
In our haste.
When
we were talking still about dads.
In our youth. In our early stages.
Focusing on the dad aspect of it.
And maybe it needs to be our first rewatch.
All right. I like it.
I don't know. Or maybe John Q. Does that count? Or that just be a...
Double back up, do that whole episode over again?
John Q might just be a watch.
As always, fuck it all. Wipe it clean. And then subscribe to our Film Fathers podcast, wherever you listen. Thanks, and save it for the pod.